Okay, this is the leadership overview video. We are in week 7 leadership, LEA, the first 3 letters of leadership, which is our last content model. So yay, we made it to the last content module. We've got the same format you're viewing the video. Your post is due on Thursday. The quiz is due the following Monday. Notice we've got the same format here. You get your content, take your quiz, get the episode here, then come down to competency A, get read content, take the quiz, challenge. Here's your challenge and for your posts for competency B and competency C. And then there's also a conclusion. Now there's a couple of things, there's 2 things different in your posts this week, so I want to cover that. If you look at the instructions here, one is same as last week. You'll use the STAR model with your behavioral interview question. You'll use the DIET model with the IDC mission. So that's the same. Make sure you, by the way, make sure you use these headers, bold them out so it's easy to follow. Use terms and concepts from the reading in the chapter. Now, what's new is you have a chance to take a leadership instrument that's a pretty good instrument. And if you click on this, this is what will come up. It's called the Lead Self Instrument, developed by Hersey and Blanchard. As you can see, it was developed in 1973, so it's not new, but it still is effective, and that's what it's going to focus on, is effectiveness and adaptability, as well as your leadership approach. It is a behavioral theory, and it focuses on transactional management. And transactional management is primary until you get into executive levels, and then it kind of shifts to transformational leadership, although all leaders at all levels use transactional leadership. So what you're going to get on these 2 pages here, you have a situation, you read the situation, and then select what you would normally do. So don't select what you think would be a right answer. Select what you would normally do. That'll give you the best results. And there's 12 questions. Then you're going to take your answer, let's say, now for number 1, let's say you picked the answer C. So then you would come down here in this scoring column for number 1, put an X and C here, and an X and C here. Then you go up, what'd you do for 2, and you X these out all the way down. Then when you get done here, count the number of X's in this row, the number in this row, the number in this row, and the number in this row. Over here, you count your X's, and then you're going to multiply by this, either a positive 1 or 2 or a negative 1 or 2. So you're going to have minus numbers here, plus numbers here, and then you add those numbers together to get a total. Then you move to this page, and from the columns here, you're going to plot your numbers in these quadrants. So from this column, you'll go to quadrant 1, this one to 2, this one to 3, this one to 4. The effectiveness that comes out of this column right here gets plotted on this scale. Notice it could be a minus number. So you have plus numbers here, minus numbers here. So now in interpreting this, what you're going to learn is you're going to learn which is your preferred style and which is your secondary style. So the largest number would be your preferred style, one of these 4. And then the second largest one would be like a secondary style. Now, this is called situational, so that means there's not a right or wrong. That the situation determines which of these approaches is best. And the situation has a lot to do with the maturity of the follower or the subordinate. And so that's when the effectiveness score comes out. So if you, in the test, selected responses that were highly effective based on that situation, then your score here is going to be, you're going to be shown as effective or somewhere along here. If you were selecting, say, like you had a favorite style and you picked it for all, then you're likely to be ineffective in many of those situations, which would give you some feedback on what you could do different. Also, your numbers in these boxes here will show your adaptability. Whereas if you have one box with a huge number and the rest are zeros or ones or twos, then you're not too adaptable. Most leaders, when they take this starting off, tend to have a preferred style, and they're not so adaptable. But it's a learned behavior, and that's what this is about. It's something we can discuss. And from this point, from the model on down here, you can read and get a pretty good explanation. And then you can, when you do your posts, do your narrative text, and then include this page right here. That'll show the information. So that's a little bit different. Got one other thing that's different I want to point out. And let me see if I can find it. No, number 6 in your discussion response. Start, stop, and continue for future courses. So provide your recommendations for future courses. Based upon your experience in this course, what would you recommend that this course starts doing that we did not do? What changes would you recommend for the next semester? And then what do you recommend that we stop doing? Is there something that we did that was not helpful and we should stop? And what do you recommend that we continue doing? In other words, what did you like that seemed to be helpful that you would like to see more of? And this is a real important question for me and the people I'm collaborating with on the course. So very much appreciate your thoughtful feedback on that. Once again, use a format. Put your headers in bold. Make sure it's clear you're using the star, you're using diet, and that you did the lead instrument correctly. So I hope you enjoy this module. There's some really good content here. Thank you.